In this question, the principal explains to us that the employers are vicariously liable under the respondent superior doctrine for the negligent acts or omissions by their employees in the course of employment, sometimes referred to as scope of employment. Right? Now, for an act to be considered within the course of employment, it must either be authorized or be so connected with an authorized act that it can be considered a mode, though an improper mode of performing it. Now, the facts in this question are: a boarding house was opened by Monica for students having behavioral and emotional difficulties. Ashima and Aradhya, aged 12 and 15 years respectively, during this time were under the care of a warden, Madhu, who was in charge of maintaining discipline and running the boarding house. Madhur lived at the house along with his disabled wife. His duties were ensuring order in making sure the children went to bed, went to school, engaged in evening activities, and supervising other staff. It had been alleged by Ashima that Aradhya that Madhur had sexually abused them. Ashima and Aradhya brought an action for personal injury against Monica, alleging they were vicariously liable for the acts of Madhur. Decide. In this question, out of all the four options, the correct option is A. That is, Monica is not vicariously liable for the acts of Madhur, as sexual abuse of Ashima and Aradhya was not within the scope of employment. Now, if we read the principle, we get to know that employers are vicariously liable under the respondent's superior doctrine for negligent acts or omissions by their employees in the course of employment, right? So course of employment is the most important thing. The purpose of the mother's duty was to develop trust with the children, right? This was his duty, and that trust gave him access to the girls and allowed the sexual abuse. Now, the acts which were done by Madhur occurred on the premise of this employment and during the time which he should be carrying out his employment duties, but were not in the course of employment, right? Now, for an act to be the course of employment, as is given in the principle, it must either be authorized or be so connected with the authorized act that if it can be considered a mode, though an improper mode of performing it. So from the facts, we get to know that what Madhur did was not an authorized act, right, or connected with the authorized act. Therefore, the warden, therefore, Monica is not vicariously liable for acts of Madhur, right, making A the correct answer.